It started on an ordinary autumn weekend. Mason Hale, an avid hiker and amateur photographer, set out alone to explore the dense trails of Washington State's Olympic National Forest. His friend said he loved the solitude of wild places. But this time, nature had something unearthly waiting for him. Mason signed into the trailhead log around 8 a.m. He planned a 12-mile loop he'd done before, a route that wound through towering pines and silent ravines. It was a clear day, the kind that makes you forget the forest can ever turn against you. By afternoon, he was gone. When he didn't return that evening, a search team formed at sunrise. They combed every marked trail, calling his name through fog and rain. Tracks were found, then lost, as if his footprint simply ceased to exist on the damp soil. Search dogs whined, growling at empty air. 3 nights later, near midnight, a park ranger found Mason stumbling down a logging road miles from his route. His clothes were torn, his hair streaked with mud, and his eyes had a distant, glassy vacancy. When asked where he'd been, he just stared, like he had forgotten what words were. At the hospital, Mason's vitals were normal, but his behavior chilled the nurses. He flinched at lights, muttered coordinates under his breath, and kept tracing circles on the bed rail with one shaking thumb. The smell of pine always seemed to linger around him, no matter how much they cleaned. His family rushed to see him, relieved but unsettled. Mason greeted them politely, too politely, using phrases he never used before. His sister, Emma, said he looked like her brother, but every time he smiled, something in the expression felt manufactured. Like someone wearing his skin didn't understand how to act human. Doctors chalked it up to trauma, memory suppression, or exposure-induced disorientation. Yet Mason began demonstrating odd new habits. He stayed awake for entire nights, humming frequencies so low they vibrated through the walls. And he refused to go near mirrors, insisting his reflection lagged too long. Friends came over to comfort him, but many left unsettled. He asked strange questions, about how long the city had been here, or if they still used this form. One friend recalled his pupils dilating unnaturally as he leaned close, whispering, "You can hear them too, can't you?" A week after his return, Mason recorded a voice memo on his phone, time-stamped at 3:11 a.m. The audio consisted of heavy breathing, a dozen seconds of silence, and then a distorted phrase, "It's not supposed to be open." The GPS tag placed him back near the forest edge. Investigators traced the coordinates from his memo, finding a small clearing surrounded by trees twisted at impossible angles. Moss grew upward, defying gravity, clinging to branches like static. No animal sounds echoed there. It was as if the forest itself was holding its breath. Emma found Mason in his apartment 2 days later, just standing motionless before an open window. He didn't notice her enter. His computer screen displayed looping satellite imagery of the national park, zooming repeatedly onto the same unmarked valley, where the map seemed to flicker and glitch. She asked him what he was doing. He turned slowly, his eyes unfocused. "Checking for the split," he murmured. The way he said it, calm, too certain, sent a cold surge through her veins. Emma swore his voice echoed twice, out of sync by less than half a second. For the next weeks, strange phenomena occurred in Mason's apartment complex. Lights blinked in harmonic patterns, pets refused to enter his unit, and elevator cameras caught moments of blank frames whenever he stepped inside. Tenants nicknamed it the glitch floor, avoiding the corridor altogether. A paranormal investigator was called discreetly. He placed recording devices around the unit, thermal testers, motion sensors, infrared cameras. At 2 a.m., every single device malfunctioned in perfect synchronization. The footage that remained showed Mason's outline flickering, splitting into overlapping copies before stabilizing again. Mason's journal was later found in a desk drawer, the handwriting uneven and frantic. One entry read, "There's another me in the trees, still calling my name. I came back, but maybe I wasn't the one who left." The final pages dissolved into overlapping symbols and longitude numbers. Emma took the journal to a linguistic analyst. The coordinates corresponded to no known location, until they reverse-mapped one set and found it 600 feet under the same hiking trail Mason disappeared from. Geological surveys confirmed a hollow void existed there, though no accessible cave was recorded. By month's end, Mason isolated himself completely. He blocked windows with black fabric and painted over reflective surfaces. His online posts grew cryptic, "The trees remember patterns. The air bends if you breathe wrong. Followers debated if it was art, delusion, or something he truly witnessed. On a cold December evening, he vanished again. His door was locked from the inside. No sign of forced entry, no note, no sound. Only his shoes remained near the bed, pointing toward a wall he'd drawn countless concentric circles on, dark with something resembling charred sap. Authorities searched the surrounding forest. There, in the same clearing, they found fresh footprints leading halfway across the soft soil before stopping abruptly, as though the ground beneath had inhaled him whole. Analysis showed the prints were identical to the first set from months earlier. Weeks turned into silence. Then, one night, Emma's doorbell rang. Mason stood there, clean, calm, smiling warmly as though he'd never left. His voice was perfect, his demeanor rehearsed. But when she hugged him, his heartbeat came 1 second late, offbeat, disturbingly mechanical. She called the police immediately, but by the time they arrived, he was gone, again. Security footage showed him walking out into the street, then vanishing mid-step as a passing car's headlights flared. Frame by frame, his form seemed to dissolve like static into thin air. Every night thereafter, Emma received voicemails with no caller ID. Every message contained only the sound of wind through pine needles, followed by a soft click. Experts attempting to trace the signal confirmed it originated from areas with no reception towers for miles. Online communities picked up the story, dubbing it the hiker swap incident. Reddit threads overflowed with theories, parallel dimensions, alien mimicry, quantum fractures, even government experiments. But none could explain why Mason's accounts were posted precisely at times before his original disappearance. Digital forensic teams found metadata anomalies in his videos, timestamps reversed, frames referencing future upload dates. When slowed down, his voice formed patterns that mirrored seismograph readings from the same forest. Seismologists confirmed minor, rhythmic tremors recorded only on nights tied to his appearances. Emma returned once more to the site. The forest greeted her with the same unnatural silence Mason described. Her compass spun in complete circles, its magnetism undone. She heard footsteps behind her, but every time she turned, the sound came from the opposite direction. Deep within, she found the clearing again. The trees now stood orderly, unerringly symmetrical, as if rearranged by intelligent design. In the soil center, carved neatly, were the same concentric circles Mason once drew, still pulsing faintly under moonlight, almost breathing. An old park ranger, the one who first found Mason, later reported seeing Emma vanish into that circle-shaped mark. He said it collapsed instantly, the ground ceiling shut like liquid sandglass. No evidence remained, just a faint hum echoing through the night air. Forest path was closed permanently after that. Official statements cited sinkhole risk, but locals whispered another truth, that people still hear voices drifting through fog, repeating coordinates that lead nowhere. Cell signals distort in the area, capturing half-sentences before fading into static. Months later, hikers posted footage of a woman standing motionless among the trees, matching Emma's profile perfectly. She turned her head toward the camera, her eyes glossed silver like a reflection, then disappeared as the lens refocused. Authorities dismissed it as glitch compression artifacts. Experts revisited Mason's final recordings and noticed something chilling. Background frequencies matched not wind, but the faint resonance of a human heartbeat. When isolated, it beat in perfect tandem with Emma's final voicemail timestamps, as if they were connected through synchronized biological delay. Today, if you hike that same region, you'll notice subtle distortions, trees bending the wrong way, birds going silent without reason. Some swear electronics reverse commands there. Others claim to glimpse Mason and Emma together, walking the path backward, heading toward a forest that shouldn't exist. Conspiracy theorists believe it's a temporal slip, a crossover where identical realities bleed through, trading inhabitants without consent. Mason may not have been the man who left, and Emma may not be the woman who followed. Something always fills the void left behind. Whatever happened out there, between the breath of the trees and the silence of the soil, remains unproven. But those who wander the Olympic paths at dusk whisper one rule: if you hear your own voice calling your name from behind, don't turn around. To this day, unexplained energy readings still flicker in that valley. Geologists claim random interference, but experts who ventured close report missing minutes, memory gaps, and mirrors recording people who weren't standing there. They call it a glitch, others call it the echo of the forest. Perhaps the story of Mason Hale isn't about disappearance at all, but replacement. A reminder that reality may reboot itself quietly, rewriting the code when nobody watches. And when it does, those who return aren't always the same versions we remember. So the next time you walk a silent trail and feel the world flicker for just a second, don't ignore it. Somewhere between that heartbeat and the pause, something may already have stepped across to take your place. The question is, which version will come back home?